Good afternoon, everybody. So we've got Sam Dickinson from Team Soul and Sharks, who's a player and a coach. What?
Team Maulers, thank you.
Sorry, my bad. Sorry, Stoke Mandeville Maulers. That's a bad start, isn't it, Sam? Hello, Sam. How are you doing?
I'm all right, Nick. How are you?
Yeah, good.
Good weekend so far. Some really good games.
Yeah, the first game was
This
amazing.
one, that was, yeah, it
Not
was
for
a
you.
tight one. Yeah, it was a bit more stressful than I wanted it to be, but yeah, we came out with a win.
Good
in
for the
end,
sport,
so,
though.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's really good, and good to see Burton, really improving since the last league weekend.
A lot.
So,
They improved a lot.
yeah, so I'm really looking forward to this one. Actually, I think this should be
Who do you think is going to win?
a good game. Given how close they ran us, I think I'd give Burton the edge, but it's going to be. I think it's going to be tight.
Cool. So we've got Sharks versus Burton today, haven't we? Team Soul and Sharks versus Burton.
Yeah, Burton in white, Sharks in black.
Who's the person to look out for in the Sharks, Sam?
Sharks, I mean, so with high pointers, they've got Dan Pelling, number 14, Chrissy Ransom, number 13, and I think the person to look out for is Toby Church, who's,
Yeah.
I think number 4. He's a 2-pointer. I think he's going to be pretty important for them. He'll be inbounding and then looking to push on and create an extra ball handling option for them.
Cool.
And then for Burton, they made Joseph, number 9, 3.5.
Ex-Leicester Tigers, isn't he?
Yeah, he's played for a few. So he's a 3-pointer, Joseph Worth. And then Rob Smith as well, who I think's back
played
in the
years
squad
ago,
after a
didn't
little
he?
bit of time away.
Right.
Yeah. Number 3. So.
I think Joseph's got a bad elbow, though. He's in pain.
Right. Oh, really? Yeah. Okay. So he's been doing a lot of work
Yeah.
for this weekend. You know, he's been, I think, playing all the minutes. So he's got a big job on his hands.
I'm just going to go and check the live stream as well.
Yeah,
Sam, while you
no
keep
worries,
talking.
Go for it. So we should be starting off in just a moment here. Obviously 4 aside. Teams limited to a maximum of 8 classification points on the court at any one time. You get an extra half a point for any female players or players over 45 on the court. And it looks like we're just about getting ready to start here. So it looks like starting lineups are.
Stick it on you, Sam. Just getting a lot of background.
Cool. So starting lineup for Sharks, we've got Chrissy Ransom, Dan Pelling, Toby Church, and Sean Thorpe. And for Burton, it's Joseph Worth, Rob Smith, and those teams. I think that's David Yates and Ryan Cocaine, if I'm correct.
Yeah, I don't know all the Burton players yet, Sam.
Yeah, we're still getting used to all the names. But here we go. Sharks win the tip.
Chrissy on the ball.
And just and it bounces kindly there. Pass was just a little bit overcooked, but it works out all right. So it's 1-0 to Sharks.
Oh, the Sharks players banging into each other.
Yeah. It's always interesting to see the sort of how teams set up on defense and offense. You will see a lot of the time Joseph, number 9, getting doubled. He's definitely Burton's fastest player, so they'll be Sharks will be putting a lot of attention.
Yeah, they'll be double teamed
on him, and then trusting the players that are low to cause Rob some problems. Ball's in. It's loose again.
It's a bit sloppy to start with here, Sam.
Yeah, I think just warming up the first couple of minutes can be a little bit sloppy as teams sort of get used to the speed of the game. That's Dan Pelling on the ball.
He's going to get over that half. He's over.
Yeah,
He's over.
So, there we go.
Oh, he's back. It's over and back.
Yeah. There we go. So that's an over and back on Dan. So teams have got 12 seconds to get the ball into the front court, so over the halfway line. And once you're over the half, you can't go back over the halfway line into your own back court. So on that one, Dan was over the half and then just got pushed back over the line. And that's an over and back court violation. So
Something that everybody hates, isn't it?
Yeah, you've got to be really careful when you're crossing that line to make sure you're giving yourself enough space that you're not going to get pushed back over. Sometimes it's a better idea to wait in your own half until you've got some support to then push out. But you've also got to be aware of the 12 seconds. So it can be a tricky balance to get sometimes.
There's a nice pass over
long
the
ball
top
there from Toby. An easy score for Chrissy. So that's 2-1 now to Sharks.
Sharks have got a team next week in the women's GBWR Women's Cup.
Great, yeah, that'll be good to see. Looking forward
Surprised
to
the
seeing
Maulers
how it
weren't
goes
in
on.
there.
Yeah, no, I think we've had a lot of tournaments the last few weeks, and we've got a good at training. It's close to 50% women these days. So we just weren't able to quite get a team together for this coming weekend. But yeah, looking forward to.
That's 2-2. Brought it back level now, Sam.
Yeah, still point for point. Like I said, I think you can expect it to be like this most of the way through here. I don't think any team will be opening up a big lead, but let's see what happens. So good defence there from Burton, forcing the low inbounds, give go, and now it's Toby pushing out. And again, that nice outlet pass long to Chrissy. So that's what Sharks need to be doing to be successful here. Is they've got 3 players on court who can handle the ball effectively. So it's making use of that extra ball handler is going to be.
When you've got 3 ball handlers, it makes it harder to defend, doesn't it? Because you've got 3 people who can carry the ball.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, when you've only got 2 ball handlers, it's much easier. You can kind of go double, put 2 players on each of them, and they've just got less options then for passing out. So you'll see. For Burton, they're going to need to be working more on picking for each other, creating space, and looking for Rob and Joseph to kind of push out, and you'll probably see fewer passes from them. Ryan, number 21, can handle the ball as well, but he's more comfortable picking at the moment, I think. And there we go. That's another long ball again. Nice positioning from Dan Pellin there, staying on top of the player, creating the space long.
Well, they had Joseph, Mark and Chrissy to stop her going high, and then Dan went high because Chrissy couldn't get high.
Yeah, it was good awareness of where the space was. It's a loose ball there. Still going to be Burton ball, so I think Sean there knocked the ball off Rob's lap, but it went straight off, so came off Sean, and it's Burton inbound again.
Go on, Joseph.
Nice turn there from Joseph, and he's got the speed to get away.
Nice try.
Easy.
He had to score that because the other ball handler inbounded, didn't he?
Yes, yeah. So it was a little bit risky putting your number 2 player on the inbound, especially on the sideline when you can't use the line
and
to create space. But managed to get away from the line trap and got a good ball in, and Joseph was just able to squeeze between the 2 defenders. So Burton have keyed up here on defence, trying to put a bit of pressure on. 20 seconds left on the shot clock. Gotta watch out for that 10 seconds in the key. Okay, just about got there in time. So offensive players, they're only allowed to be in the key area for 10 seconds.
Burton players arguing that it was over 10.
Yeah, I think it was definitely close.
It was close.
But referees will be keeping account of that. And
so the new rules, Sam, the 10-second rule's moving to an 8-second rule.
It's going to make a big difference, and particularly now that we've got no more court timeouts. So the only timeouts are going to be on dead ball situations. And we've seen it a little bit in some of the international competitions already. We saw GB playing out in Japan a few weeks ago, and it's definitely going to make a difference to the tactics and sort of how teams approach breaking the half, and just the speed of the game. I think we will see more turnovers.
Yeah, well, there'll be more jeopardy, won't there? That's what
yeah.
they're trying to do, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's going to be an 8-second bounce, an 8-second pass, an 8-second inbound.
Yeah.
Still 12 seconds to get out of the half.
Still 12 seconds to get out of the half. No player timeouts, so you can't call a timeout during the play, but more coaches' timeouts. And I think one of the most interesting things for me as a coach is thinking about one of the changes they're bringing is you call a coach's timeout in the last, is it 2 minutes or 1 minute of the quarter? Last 1 minute of the quarter. You can advance the ball to the front court, and that creates some really interesting situations when clock's running low, trying to get a long pass into the key.
They've been doing that in America a while, you know.
Yeah.
I didn't realise that.
No, same. I've played out in America, but only with like World Wheelchair Rugby rules. So it's more similar to basketball, really, which is I think part of the.
Basketball happens in basketball, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, if you were watching out in Japan, it became like a wheelchair rugby line-out, didn't it?
Yeah,
I liked it actually. I quite liked it.
Yeah, there's a lot of different tactics you can do in terms of basically trying to get your positioning in the key, and then calling the inbound, bringing the player back out to get that long throw into the key. Back to this game, shot clock's running down.
Yeah, what are we on?
12 seconds left. Still plenty of time, no need to panic. Nice work there from Chrissy.
Yeah, powered away over. So that's a 2-point lead for Sharks now, 7-5.
7-5 now. 1 minute 49 to go in the first quarter.
So Burton, this is only the second competition, but they do have a pretty good coach, don't they?
Yeah, Darren Matthews got a lot of experience, ex-GB assistant coach. So I was impressed actually with them when they played us earlier on. They did have a lot of, for a team that's not been playing together that long, there was a lot of good sort of tactical and technical play. They put us under a lot of pressure. And they weren't.
It's one of Darren's strengths in his tactics, isn't it?
Yeah, and they weren't making a ton of sort of rookie errors and mistakes. I mean, obviously the ball's always going to go loose sometimes, but a lot of times with newer teams and newer players, you'll see that lack of composure.
Yes.
I didn't see too much.
It's different than any other sport, wheelchair. You've got to have that composure.
Yeah.
More so than anything else.
Yeah, especially. At this level, you'd expect maybe a sort of 70-75% conversion rate, so 75% of the time you're going to see the offensive team scoring. Once you get up to the higher levels, that gets even higher, and once you get to international level, the goal is 90-95% conversion rate, and at that point, every turnover is massively important. So composure and knowing, having that ability to keep you cool under pressure is vital.
Everybody sees wheelchair rugby and they see the big hits, but what they don't realise is the tactics behind it is far more in depth than those big hits, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it is. It's a bit of a cliche now, but it is really chess with violence.
It is.
There's a lot of. It's a very cerebral sport, which is one of the things I love about it. For me, as a 0.5 player, I'm never going to be the fastest player on court. Except maybe when we're playing threes. But you can get ahead by being more switched on, smarter, thinking about what's going on, and anticipating. That's really one of the great things about the sport, I think, especially, and again, that's one of the reasons I love coaching, is thinking about not only the tactics on the court, but also thinking about lineups, matchups, because a lot of the game, we were saying with Joseph on the court, he's quick, he's got a lot of maneuverability. Yeah. He sits quite low, so he's not the tallest. So you're thinking about, what is the ideal in terms of the players I've got on my team? What are our ideal matchups against him? Who's going to put him under the most pressure? Because as you can see there, when he gets going,
it's hard to stop him.
It's difficult to stop him. Absolutely.
He's able to jump in his chair as well, isn't he?
Yeah, he's got that sort of ability with his hips to
9-all, Sam.
Yeah, it's been a great quarter so far. So I'm looking forward to more of the
Who
same.
stood out for you in the first quarter?
I think for me, I think Chrissy played really well. I
Yeah.
think, I was impressed by Shark's composure. There were a couple of times they were put under pressure low, and a couple of those passes just went astray. But particularly once they were over the half, taking their time, looking for the spaces, and going to score, that was really good.
The tactics are trying to get the ball over the top to it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like creating that space and looking to exploit.
They don't truck and trailer as much, do the Sharks?
No, I mean, I think they are trying to set up a truck and trailer low, but Burton are doing a good job of stopping that under pressure, and they're not letting that roll out really easily, which is where then Sharks are having to go to that sort of moving the ball a bit more and making use of those 3 ball handlers.
I tell you what I do notice is Maulers are passing the ball a hell of a lot at the moment.
Yeah, no, I mean, we've got, in terms of our lineups for this weekend, we've got 2 or 3 ball handlers a lot of the time, and that is something that we're obviously trying to work on. In Division 2 we had Sab, who's a 3-5, who's a very dominant ball handler. So a lot of the time he's just taking the ball and running with it. But when we've got slightly more balanced lines, that is something you have to do, is look to move the ball more. So it's really, it's kind of a horses for courses thing. You've got to adapt your tactics to the players that you've got. And credit to the team, again, obviously Burton earlier, and also Ospreys put us under pressure when we were playing against them. If you're not passing the ball, generally speaking, things are going, that means that things are easy for you, because you can just roll out and the same person who receives the ball from the inbound can score. I mean, that's the idea. In an ideal world, you want that to happen every time, because every time you're passing the ball, there's a risk that it goes astray. So that's not what we necessarily want a lot of the time, but it is good that we've got the players who can do it and make use of that space when we need to. Nice work there from the Burton Lowies, getting the ball in and then handing off to Joseph.
Dan's got a great one-handed pass.
Yeah, you can see he's looking for that, and we've got Joe as well, number 23, who's got a decent range on his pass as well. Obviously, with this lineup for Burton, they don't have Ryan, number 21, on, so they really do have sort of 2 ball handlers, 2 lowies. It's sort of more of a high-low. But both of their lowies do have a decent pass on them. So you can see here they're setting up trying to set up that truck trailer, get the ball into one of their high pointers. But there you go. That's a good example of the.
Whoa! So they haven't penalised.
That's a whistle there. I think that's a holding foul on Joseph. He just put his hands on Chrissy to prevent himself from falling over. So you're not allowed any contact on the body of another player, even if it's to prevent yourself from falling over. So that is going to be a turnover and Sharks ball. Slight lineup change here from Sharks. We've got Mel on in place of Toby. They're same role. Mel's going to be inbounding and then looking to be that third option on the inbounds. Just got an equipment call here as well.
Whoa. 11-all.
Yeah, it's still nice and tight. It's going to be interesting to see whether how much time management comes into play at the end of the quarters and at the end of the half. At this level, both the players are potentially a little bit less experienced.
Because the key is to score the last goal, isn't it?
You want to score the last goal of the quarter if you can, because then you've got the opportunity to double up. If you've got the same, if you're going to get the ball at the start of the next quarter, then that means you're scoring 2 goals in a row. Or if the other team's got the ball at the next quarter, you're preventing them from getting 2 in a row.
Yeah.
So that is really what you want, is to score the last goal. But scoring the goal is the most important thing.
Yes.
So that'd be a question for the coaches. How much do they try and ask their players to run the clock down and really use that all the time that they've got to try and score as close to the end of the quarter as they can, or do they prioritise just getting the goal and defending, trusting that they can put enough pressure on?
I mean, the new rules I'm pleased about, because I'm not a big fan of the 40 seconds to go and the player just sits there bouncing the ball. As a spectator, it's not very good.
Yeah, it does slow things down a bit. I mean,
but I get why we do it.
Yeah, I mean, as a coach, again, I've got a little bit mixed feelings about it, because I like that there's more tactical options, but I do understand that for the spectators, it's not the most thrilling when you're just seeing teams run the clock down.
There's lots of mistakes going on here, Sam.
Yeah, some loose balls there. Turnover, and that's something you'll see a lot at all levels, but again, particularly at this level. The ball goes loose, players get a bit panicked.
Flustered.
And then
mistakes breed mistakes, don't they, Sam?
It's what we were talking about with the composure earlier. In a game where turnovers are so important, it's not a turnover until you've scored from the turnover.
Yeah.
So having that composure and taking your time if you get the ball from the other team, you need to then slow it down, make sure you're getting back into your patterns, and looking to make the most of that. And make the turnover count.
13-12, Sharks have just took the lead, but Burton on the ball. Looks like it's going to level it up 13-all.
It's another score for Joseph. He's definitely Burton's top try scorer so far. And good defence here, keeping the options away, forcing the ball into the lowie. Nice little punt pass there, Dan. There you go. And the long ball.
No.
And good work from Chrissy there.
She's really well.
Getting her chair in the way of Joseph and creating the space for herself to pick the ball up. And now still 20 seconds left on the shot clock. They've got time. And that's a nice ball over the top for Dan. So that's what I was talking about earlier, just having that composure once you're out of the half. There's no need to rush, so I think that's Chrissy showing some of her experience there. She's been playing for a while. And actually, nice to see Chrissy getting more of an opportunity in the fours as well. She was recently reclassified from a 4-pointer to a 3.5, which means
she gets more game time.
More options, and particularly because she also has the half-point addition to the team's allowance, so she's effectively playing like a 3-pointer, which is what allows.
She will be playing as a 2-5 soon.
Yeah. So from and this is the last tournament really with with the old rules. So we've still got the player timeouts. No one's used player timeout yet actually in this game. Still got 3 each. Rock now pushing out for Burton.
Oh, sorry, Joseph's got it.
Nearly went loose, but good work from Joseph recovering.
More good luck and good management, that Sam, wasn't it?
Yeah. Is that going to be a turnover there?
He's going to get it.
Oh, unlucky. He didn't quite manage to collect it. You've got to be careful passing the ball near to Ryan because he's got those long arms.
He has, yeah.
Just managed to get a hand on it, but wasn't quite able to collect it. Still Sharks ball. And again, nice pressure from Burton here. Dan's able to sneak through.
Push it down the middle again.
And then that long ball's on. And a nice easy score.
(16-15), Sharks lead Burton by 1.
2:37 to go in the second quarter. Still 3 timeouts each. Ooh, and that's a loose ball. Still Burton's ball.
Yeah.
It was a little bit unnecessary from Dan there. They had Burton trapped low. They were going to have to, if they were going to get out there, they were going to need to throw a risky long pass. So If I was Dan's coach, I'd be admonishing him a little bit for reaching in there. Pushing out. Good thinking there from Ryan, understanding where the space was.
It's a good pass.
Yeah.
All square, 16 all. All the games have been going point for point today, most of them, actually.
It's been, I think, there's four very evenly matched teams here today.
Which is nice.
Yeah, it's always more fun when games are close.
We're pushing for Mel there.
Yeah, nice work getting out over the half. And again, just need some composure here from Sharks.
Take plenty of time. Plenty of time.
15 seconds now on the shot clock, so they do need to get the ball out there.
No look pass.
Yeah. If it works, it works. And ball to Lowy, and there you go with under a second on the clock.
Sean will be happy with that.
Yeah. Well, he scored plenty of tries yesterday in the 3v3,
He did.
but good positioning from him there, understanding what was on the shot clock, making himself an option. And it doesn't matter if you score it with 30 seconds left or 1 second left, it still counts. So.
Nice vision.
Yeah, good work, and Ryan again there, understanding that he had to pass that ball right then, because otherwise he was going to get hit on the halfway line and it would have been over and back. So yeah, some really good play here from both teams. Nice ball in there from Mel. An easy 2v1 here. Oh, good tracking back from Joseph, forcing the extra pass, but Dan's there to score the goal. Looking for the long ball in, but no, it goes short instead. It's a nice job here from the Burton low pointer, number 2, keeping Mel out of the play. Got that line trap on, which that's a mismatch. It's 1 point taking out 2 points. So it leaves Burton with more points on the court in their sort of 3 players.
So the idea was there, he slowed it down, that Team Soul Sharks are going to score and then Burton are going to slow down their try. Yeah.
And they're looking to get that goal around about the 50-second
turnover.
mark. There you go, get a nice quick goal. So that's 43 seconds left, nearly at the end of the first half. And timeout called by Sharks there. It's good.
Great pressure from Burton.
Yeah, great pressure from Burton. Good use of the timeout from Sharks. They weren't going to get out there. Dan was stuck down low, facing the wrong way, and he could have thrown a long, risky pass. But when you've got the timeouts, better to use them.
And after this game, people were going to have to throw those.
Passes That's going to be following. Once we get the new rules in, you no longer have that get out of jail free card with the timeout. That's a situation where you've just got to lob the ball long and hope for the best. Because worst case scenario, you're hoping that it goes out at the other end of the court, and then the opposition has to inbound from the corner by their own goal line, and that way you can put pressure.
Have you thought of any tactics of what you're going to do? Because I've thought about it, and I think if you're going to be stuck down low, you're better off just putting a really high ball and giving your team plenty of chance to get under it, a bit like Gary Owen in rugby union.
Yeah, exactly. You do want to think about, and it partly depends on the players that you've got on the court, but yes, you want to be giving yourself that space to at least have the opportunity to chase it back. But yeah, getting as much distance on it as you can.
Yeah.
Given that it's still 12 seconds to get out of the half, I think tactics shouldn't change too much in terms of how you're breaking the press.
Yeah.
Players just need to be aware of getting that bounce in a little bit earlier. But yeah, the lack of timeouts is definitely something where you need to have that awareness and it's a lot of the time it's about getting yourself in a good chair position.
Yeah.
If you've got the ball low, even if you're doubled, putting yourself in a position where you can see up court and see where your options are, and throw that long pass if you need to. So down there, just bleeding a little bit of extra time off the clock. 5 seconds left now in the.
So Burton have got 5 seconds to score.
So that's good time management from Sharks. They'll be looking to prevent a quick goal here from Burton. Quick try,
Do you
sorry.
think they want to
So ball's loose, are they going to be able to steal a quick one? Not quite. So that's the end of the first half. Burton 20, Sharks 19. So just 1 point in it. It's going to be Sharks ball at the start of the second half. So
it's a good half.
Very
it's really
close.
good half.
Yeah, it's been good, good stuff. Obviously, a few balls going astray, but overall it's good standard. Particularly, even comparing it to the first tournament of Div 3 this season, I think everyone's raised their levels.
Yeah, definitely.
Good to see.
And I like the fact that Sharks and Maulers aren't bringing their top D2 players down as well.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of that's the whole point of Division 3 is development, right? And we've got both Sharks and Maulers. We've got a lot of players, which is great, but that means that a lot of the time in Division 2, if we were only running one team, there'd be a lot of players who were not getting as much court time. And training's all well and good, but there's nothing as good for development as playing real minutes in competitive, high pressure situations. So I'm really pleased that we've got this Division 3 as a.
How many players have you got in Maulers now, roughly?
I mean, we regularly get sort of 15 to 18 at training, which is
probably the limit for training.
Yeah,
you
don't really want more than that. It gets a bit unmanageable after that. So, I mean, I think between Division 2 and Division 3, I haven't counted, but I'd say we've probably had about 16 players total that have played minutes.
I mean, you're perfectly located in Stoke.
We are quite central, which is nice.
So and the hospital you're in as well.
Yeah. So we do get a lot of people sort of coming down for taster sessions, and some of them stay with us. Some of them, if they're going home and there's another club closer to them, then they'll end up with other clubs. But it's great to see that we can bring people into the sport.
We need to get more players into the sport, don't we?
Yeah, and I mean it's a fantastic sport, and there's a big range of different disabilities that can play. Loads of obviously we've had 3s yesterday, we've got 4s today, we've got the 5s coming up in the summer. So
explain that to the layman out there, like why we have 3s, 4s, and 5s for simple terms.
So basically, the way that a lot of Paralympic sports work is there's a big range of disabilities that are allowed to play the sport, and so in order to sort of level the playing field and make sure that those who are more disabled can play on the same court as those who are less disabled, you have a classification system where everyone's given a points value based on their level of impairment, and that goes from in the Paralympic discipline, which is what we're seeing here, 0.5 to 3.5. So 0.5 would be the likes of Tom here, number 10, is the most impaired, up to 3.5, so Chrissy, who's got full upper body function, pretty much some slight issues with her arms or shoulders.
She can't feel her hands, Chrissy. She's got no feeling.
Versus someone like myself, for example, I've got basically no functional movement in my hands, little to nothing in my triceps, so I can't throw the ball as far, I can't push as fast as someone like Chrissy or someone like Joseph, who's a 3. And so, like I said, everyone gets a points value based on their level of function, and then we restrict the number of total points that you can have on court at any one time for each team. So in 4-a-side, it's 8 points. And then, so 3-a-side, which is what we played yesterday, that's I call a low point discipline, so it's only players who are classified 0.5 to 1.5. And in that, we're playing half a court, a bit like 3v3 basketball. But that's really just, it's an opportunity for low point players to get more court time.
Handle the ball.
Handle the ball. Yeah, it's a bit different.
I've never seen you handle the ball as much. Simon,
Yeah,
to do.
you know, for me, it's a lot of fun sort of getting to be sort of a primary ball handler when in, you know, obviously four-a-side. My role's generally to handle the ball as little as possible, you know, just get in the way of the other team and create space for my teammates. So that's 3v3. There is also you can play four-a-side low point, which I was lucky enough to play with GB at the World Games a few years ago.
You won that as well, didn't we?
We did, yeah, gold medal, which was
gold medal winner.
Yeah, it was a great experience. I was along for the ride, really. We had all of the low pointers from the GB team that had just won gold in Tokyo, so it was a great team to be part of. So we had obviously myself, we had Kylie Grimes, we had Nick Cummins, Milo Pearson.
Oh yeah. Jack.
We had Ryan as well. Who's a one-pointer. Dan.
Oh, Ryan Cowling. All right.
Ryan Cowling, yeah. So yeah, basically, you know, all of the
creme de la creme of the
pretty
low
much
pointers.
all of the GB one-pointers except for Johnny. Unfortunately, had some health issues. Otherwise, he would have been.
Did Jack go as well?
Jack didn't go for that one, no. So the half pointers it was me and Daniel Kellett, and then we had
before he's a one-pointer.
And Kylie, yeah. So he was still a 0.5 at that point. We had Kylie as well as a 0.5 female. One-pointers we had Ryan Cowling and Luke Wilson, and then 1.5s we had Milo and Nick. So yeah, really strong.
Two good 1.5s.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so our sort of best lineup was Nick, Milo.
How many points do you get in?
You get 3.5.
Right. Okay.
So it was Nick, Milo, Ryan, and Kylie. Who obviously Kylie, we're allowed to play 4 points because Kylie's a 0.5 female. And yeah, it was a great experience. First time for me sort of playing sort of elite level in that environment. Getting to play abroad was
Where was it?
Really cool experience. It was in Birmingham, Alabama.
Right, okay. Not Birmingham,
no,
UK.
Not Birmingham, UK. No, so, in the US.
Was it Lakeshore?
It wasn't at Lakeshore actually. They had it at one of the other World Games venues. Obviously, the World Games is sort of a bit like the alternative Olympics, like a multi-sport event. So we were staying in the Athletes Village, which was cool, which was at the University of Alabama at Birmingham, their campus. And then we were in a sports complex where across the hall from us they were doing canoe polo.
There was canoe polo.
Yeah, that's I've
never heard of that.
Games. We got tug of war was going on. We got to go and see some lacrosse. Lots of really interesting sports. I think drone racing is also.
So there was sort of the World Games. They picked sort of sports that are not in the
Olympics. Yeah.
Oh, not in the Olympics. All right. Okay.
So there's some sports that are more mainstream. Like there's a lot of the martial arts that are in the World Games. I think squash as well might be. Some that are a bit more niche, like the tug of war and the drone racing.
So it was a great sport actually to play.
Yeah. But yeah, that was a great experience. So that's four-a-side low point, and that you'll have 3.5 points. For three-a-side, it's 3 points between the three players. And then fives is it's been a few years now we've had fives.
2018, I think.
Yeah, okay, so it's been around for a decent while, and that's for basically opening the sport up to people with less severe disabilities. So to play the Paralympic discipline, you have to have some kind of upper limb impairment. Whereas for fives, it's pretty much any physical disability.
As long as you can't compete in the running rugby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
which is created. I suppose there's a lot of pros and pros against fives, and I understand that, but it has made the sport a little bit bigger, isn't it?
Yeah, it's definitely it's opened up the sport, brought more people in.
Create more clubs around the country as well, hasn't it?
Yeah, we've seen a lot of clubs now that are sort of fives clubs primarily, and obviously the goal is to get as many people playing both disciplines as we can.
So our club, we play fours now.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah,
Very new, but
yeah, bringing sort of enough players in to at least look to play a team, which is great. And obviously, it's the same kind of same idea in terms of fives. You've got the similar kind of classification system, but obviously the classifications are different because you've got a wider range of disabilities.
And the 5 players on court means there's less space.
A bit less space.
But there's more passing in fives because of that.
More passing, faster players.
Yeah.
There's a lot of big hits in fives. It's a bit too physical for me as a 0.5, but no, it's definitely come on a lot. The sport, the first few years that we were playing, we as maulers were basically fielding a fours team in fives
and smashing everybody, weren't you?
Yeah, we were winning a lot because we understood the tactics. But the fives players and fives clubs have really come on and got a lot more strategically savvy.
Yeah.
So
it is from somebody who played running rugby. I was an ex-professional running rugby player, and then coming into wheelchair rugby, there's no they're not the same at all.
No, it's.
When I played running rugby, my job was to be horrible. Yeah. I was a bully. That was my job. Whereas in fives that I play, you've got to be calm, collected, make the right decisions. Yeah. But I love it. I mean, I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. Sport. I mean, I think one of the things that I say is like the only real sort of parallel, or the only thing that's the same between running rugby and wheelchair rugby is the violence.
Yes, the big hits.
It's the big hits, it's the aggression. And I think the other thing that wheelchair rugby has that running rugby also has is the sort of spirit of the game.
Yes, the family.
The family aspect, respect for the refs, all that kind of stuff, which, it is a community. So I think similar philosophy in that way. But in terms of the sport itself, I always describe wheelchair rugby as a cross between basketball and American football.
I would agree.
We're playing on a basketball court with similar number of players, and the sort of the blocking that you have to do for using the low point is kind of similar to American football in that way. So, but it's great that obviously a lot of clubs do have a connection to running rugby clubs here, and sort of having that sort of crossover between the two sports. I know that people like Mike Brown have been very supportive of the sport. So it's just about bringing as much money and people into the sport as we can to grow it. And
we want to get the running rugby sponsors, don't we? That's what we want. The Guinnesses and the famous grousers. Guinness famous grouse, if you're out there, call us.
Did you see the famous grouse ad with Crushers? That was.
I was howling because Donald is the softest, most placid person I know, and he came across like a hard Glaswegian, didn't he? I was howling with laughter.
Yeah, but no, that was great to see, and it's really cool to see the sport getting more exposure.
That was Scotland. Scotland did that. Scotland RFU did that. I loved it. It was brilliant.
Yeah. So it's getting that crossover is really good to see.
25-23, 26-23 to Burton now.
Yeah, got Burton opening up a little bit of a lead here.
So Sam's prediction was right.
So well, it's third quarter. We've got a minute 40 left to go, so there's still plenty of time for Sharks to bring it back. We've now got Nathan on number 11 for Sharks, the three-pointer. Just slightly loose there from Mel. Chris is tall, but not quite that
I'm right
tall.
in Burton haven't won a game yet, have they?
No, I don't think they won any last time, so this would be their first win. And they came very close to beating us. But yes, I think they'll be obviously very keen to keep their composure and close this one out.
And they've got the most supporters, Burton. I've got to give them that.
Yeah, they brought along a good contingent, which is great to see as well. And that's another really important thing for us as teams. And
sloppy.
Just a little bit of.
As we said again, double turnover.
Turnover. That time, I think that was 3 in a row. Eventually, Burton get the score. So 4-point lead now.
When you make that mistake and then you turn it back over, it feels great.
Yeah. that's something that I really see as a coach, is the team sort of responding to losing the ball and working really hard to get it back.
Nathan, well done.
Good pushing there from Nathan. Getting that ball out. Got to get a bounce in. Keeping hold of it.
Done well.
Just needs to protect the ball. Still plenty of time on the clock.
Take your time, Nathan. Lovely.
Very well done. So
Chris is playing really well.
27-24, 48 seconds left in the third quarter. And that's a loose inbound.
Was that? I didn't see that.
Yeah, just I'm not sure exactly what went wrong, but loose inbound, the ball went loose, and chance for Sharks to close the gap.
So Sharks will want to score this and then score the last, I would assume.
Yeah, they'll look to get a quick one here if they can. Whoops, loose again. Got to be careful of the 10 seconds in the key there.
That four in the key?
I think 10 seconds in the key.
Ah, right.
On the offense, so it's a turnover. And Burton win it back. 25 seconds left. Burton will look to get over the half and then slow things down a little bit. Just taking the score.
Just went over and scored. I don't think Darren will be happy with that.
I think for me, as long as you score the goal, I'm not going to be too upset. The worst thing is if you try and slow it down on the clock and then don't score. So, in an ideal world, for me, Joseph would have just paused for a few more seconds on the line there, so he wasn't under a ton of pressure. As Chrissy's doing here, there you go, just running it right down. 1 second left. Really nice work from Sharks there.
There's no one got a long enough pass.
Yeah, they've got to watch out for that long ball here. Nathan's going up to cover it.
So if this was in the new rules, you would call a coach's timeout, and you get the inbound from...
Yeah, exactly. You call the coach's timeout, you'd be able to bring the ball up to effectively where the sin bin is, where we're sitting, and then you aim to get a long pass into the
I was watching though, when GB versus Japan, I assumed that you'd be inbounded from there, but they weren't. They were doing it from here.
Yeah, so it's from the... next to the penalty box, I believe. Which is, so it's not right on the halfway line. You've got a little bit more, a little bit closer to the key, which makes it that bit easier to get the ball in. So yeah, I mean, we saw a bunch of times teams scoring multiple scores with less than 10 seconds left on the clock because of that.
GB's tactic was to get Tyler to throw it to Gav, wasn't it?
Yeah. So obviously Tyler has the longest pass in that GB squad. So
I'm assuming that when they go over to the Euros, it might be Hannah, because she's got a great one-handed pass. Tyler's really... You got Ollie? He's giant in a chair, isn't he?
Yes. Ollie sits really, really high. I mean, it's going to be really interesting to see how they... got a few new faces in the GB squad. I think it's going to be really fun to see. So they've got some options. What I was interested in when that was happening, obviously what GB were doing is they were sending all 4 players into the key to start with, so that the opposition had to try and cover everyone, getting set up so that Gav had that position to then try and receive the ball, and then Tyler.
It was a good tactic though, wasn't it? It was a good tactic.
Yeah, and I was kind of interested that the opposition didn't just ignore Tyler.
I know.
If I was them, I would have just left Tyler free and
wanted to do it once,
because he was always going to want to come in an inbound and just try and stop whether it was Gavin and Kieran or if they had Stuart on and they were going high-low, just stop whoever's not the one you're expecting to inbound.
Because there's only Tyler with the pass, wasn't there, in Japan, who could actually...
Yeah. He was definitely their first option there. So yeah, I mean, but that's one of the things where we're all still getting used to the new rules. So
I think it's nice to change things up every now and again.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be some tactical changes that teams have come up with at the Euros. So yeah, looking forward to that. I'm actually going out to the Netherlands.
Are you going out?
Yeah, I'm going out for, I think, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Nice.
So I'll be there for that. Get to cheer on
GB.
those players, and it's great to see obviously, yeah, the likes of Hannah and Ollie.
We've got 2 women in the
squad.
team now.
Yeah. And yeah, obviously with the additional half-point allowance now that it's been brought in along with those new rules, giving those female players more opportunities.
Yeah, I think it's great.
It's good to see. And honestly, regardless of whether it's half-point or 1 point, I think Hannah, I've seen her develop over the last few years, and I always felt like she was going to make it. So it's now we need to see whether she can kick on. She's got her first selection, which is awesome. But I think she'll now be looking to establish herself as a mainstay in that team going forward. She's still young. She's got a lot of time ahead of her, as is Ollie, who's very new to the sport.
He's only 17, Ollie, isn't he?
Something like that. Yeah. So he's.
I played against Ollie in the 5s, and he's a giant in the chair.
Yeah, I mean he sits very high in his chair, so it's similar to Ike for
Yeah,
Japan.
he's very similar to the Japanese guy. Yeah.
So yeah, between him and Tyler, there's a lot of height in that GB squad. So looking to make use of that.
So 29-26 to Burton.
On the ball, nice pass over there from Rob. Score from Joseph. So Sharks have gone back to their starting line here with Dan, Toby, Chrissy and Sean. So last quarter they'll be looking to see if they can pull this back, get the win. Good pushing from Toby. Toby's got real speed when he gets going. So nice. Out there. Again, using that third ball handling option.
Yeah, they're struggling here a little bit.
And yeah, question is,
nice
can they
play.
put that pressure on defence? Good offload there, and nice long ball to Joseph. And then, do we have the composure to finish it? Yeah. Nice pushing there from Ryan. Just got knocked into the cone, but he had 2 wheels over before he hit the cone. So in order to score the try, that's what you need, just 2 of your wheels over the try line. And he was able to get over the line before hitting the cone. So try stands. Ball in there to Chrissy. Loose. Yeah, turnover there. That's a tough one.
Costly
really
turnover
costly.
for Sharks, that.
So we're looking for a turnover again for Sharks here.
Composure.
Yeah,
Composure.
that is the name of the game here for Burton. I mean, they were a few points up against us in the last quarter, and we were able to pull it back. I wouldn't say that they threw it away necessarily, but we put them under pressure, and they did just have a few moments of the ball going loose and weren't quite able to close it out. So that's what they'll be looking to improve on this time. They've got a 5-point lead with 3 minutes 40 left to go. So you definitely hope and expect to win from that position. But stranger things have happened. Sharks win from here. But Sharks do need to get some quick turnovers here because that time is ebbing away pretty quickly. Ball into Rob there. Looking for his picks. Nice pick from Sean. Got a piece of the player.
Get it space, Joseph.
And a long ball. Just looking to shut that down.
Nice turn.
Yeah, that's what Joseph's got, that manoeuvrability.
He has.
He's able to turn on a sixpence there and just get around Toby. Make sure of the score. Ball's in, loose. Loose there.
That was a bit dramatic, wasn't it?
Yeah.
From Dan?
I mean, you've got to try whatever you can at this stage.
Was he trying behind the axle, was he?
I think that was maybe what he was looking for. But refs weren't having any
You can't
of it.
hit behind the axle.
Yeah,
You can, but you can't if you knock them over.
Yeah, but if you cause a spin, or if the referee deems it dangerous, then it's sort of up to their discretion whether they think it's worthy of a penalty. And you will see a lot of the time you do get a lot of behind the axle contact. As a lowie, a lot of the time I'll just be sort of nudging the back of the chair sometimes just to try and knock the player off course slightly. But when you're going at high speed, that's when it becomes dangerous. So it's about judgment. When is it appropriate and when is it not?
Good power for pushing past there.
Ball down there. He's going to be able to catch it up. Okay, yeah, it does collect it. And ball to Toby. Score is good. It's 35-29 to Burton. So
barring any huge mistakes, I think.
6 points with 2 minutes 30 left. I think it's
over.
Definitely Burton's to lose. I would be shocked if Sharks are able to pull it back at this stage. But Burton will be looking to finish strong, making sure that scores. Nice. When you're this far up, I wouldn't be worried about running the clock too much. Just sort of take your time. Don't rush to score, but
make sure you score
a bit. Yeah. Just put the onus on the other team to get turnovers. Dan Pelling pushing out. A nice outlet pass.
Toby's in.
Easy score. 2:05 left, 36-30 to Burton. Having Rob, number 3, for Burton's been a big asset for them, just having that second ball handler that they didn't have. Rob didn't play in the last tournament for them, so they were sort of very reliant on Joseph. And now they've got that
two options, isn't it?
Yeah, second option, which gives them a lot more.
Number 21 handles the ball well as well.
Yeah,
he's good linchpin.
He's done well. Yeah. He's not the quickest, but he does have that. He's got those long arms. He's able to.
He's got weight though, which helps in defence, doesn't it? No, I mean I'm not being rude. No, it does help, doesn't it?
Sure, yeah, it does. When you can stop a player dead and then prevent them from moving off, it does help on defence definitely. So the ball went out the baseline, so it's going to be a corner inbound here. 1 minute 37 to go. Chance for Burton to go 8 points up, and they've still got 2 timeouts left as well if they need them. Nice pushing there from Rob Smith. Gets the score. That's an example there. You see Ryan stopping Dan dead in his tracks. Staying in front nicely. Loose.
I don't know who that hit last.
Yeah, just came off the front of Joseph's chair, I think. So it's still a Sharks ball. A little bit lucky there.
So this is going to be a historic win for Burton. The first win.
Yeah. Really nice pick up there from Dan. Bounced the ball into himself. Just lost it. Sean trying to get hands on the ball there.
With his cheeky little grin.
Yeah. And Joseph's just running a few extra seconds off the clock there. 46 seconds left, 39-30 to Burton. They'll be looking now to see if they can make it a double-digit win. Really make it sort of an emphatic finish. Chrissy pushing out. A nice long ball there to Dan.